Alright, let's see what's going on with the news. 80-year-old arrested outside of Estacado High School with a gun. Faces 1 count of aggravated assault with deadly weapon, 1 count exhibiting firearm on campus or school bus, count of unlawfully carrying a weapon in a prohibited place. Yeah, so they basically found him with a gun and then, right, they apprehended him. And that was it. Almost had another school shooter. For some reason. Probably gonna investigate why he did it. Watch ICE tackle detained protesters in San Fran. New York Post. Don't forget to, right. I will put all the sources and the description and everything. And you can check them out.
Are your grandchildren ready to answer for your crimes?
He's got mace right there. Yay! 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 Oh, oh, got him. Got him. Got him. Oh, got that bitch. Fucking body slammed him. Fucking body slammed him. Immediately got him on the floor. Immediately slammed him. Like, nope, not going anywhere. We're booking you. We're booking you. Get the zip ties. That is motherfucker. Get this Palestinian nut job out of here. Get him out of here. I actually don't know if he's part of the. He looks like an Antifa guy. Let's go, bitch. Head down, motherfucker.
Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. I'm not gonna ask you again. Stay back. You gotta walk down the sidewalk now. You can hold on for 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, you want to walk closer to them? No, you do not get to walk closer to them. Right, wait. Got him. He got. He got taken.
Now a developing story. We've learned a former advisor to Mayor Adams handed a journalist a bag of potato chips filled with cash. This comes as several of the mayor's associates are facing new corruption charges. Ali Bauman has more.
Cash?
An envelope of cash stuffed into a potato chip bag. This is what New York journalist Katie Honan says was handed to her Wednesday by former City Hall advisor Winnie Greco after a campaign event for the mayor in Harlem. Honan says she tried to give the money back and quickly notified the Adams campaign and the Department of Investigation. Greco, Adams' former director of Asian Affairs, resigned from City Hall last year after the FBI raided her home during his corruption case. A spokesman for the mayor's re-election campaign said in part Greco holds no position in this campaign and has been suspended from all volunteer campaign-related activities. Hours later, Mayor Adams was all smiles in Harlem shortly after the news broke that one of his closest political allies is facing another round of corruption charges. An attorney for Ingrid Lewis Martin confirms to CBS News New York that she will be in court Thursday to answer new charges filed by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Her attorney saying in part, while the specifics remain unclear, Ingrid is certain of one thing: she has broken no laws and she is not guilty. The former chief advisor to Mayor Adams Adams is already facing bribery charges handed down last December.
That's funny
because
Alvin Bragg has
this new indictment, according to the New York Times,
Alvin Bragg is
includes
kind
Louis
of a
Martin
shithead.
and her son,
So
as
it's
well
very
as
strange
Deputy
for him to
Commissioner
go
for Real
after,
Estate Services Jesse
Mayor
Hamilton
Adams
and two major donors, Tony and Gina Argento,
the people
who run
around
a
Mayor
prominent
Adams.
New York-based
I guess he
soundstage
doesn't like
company.
Mayor Adams very
Attorneys
much.
for the Argentos say they are aware of an indictment charging alleged improper conduct involving a former New York City public official, of which they categorically deny the allegations. The mayor is not expected to be charged.
We have got no notification, but we put out our statement.
City Hall commented in part, Mayor Adams was not involved in this matter and has not been accused of or implicated in any wrongdoing. Political expert J.C. Polanco says these charges will remind voters of the administration's legal turmoil just 10 weeks before the mayoral election.
This is a critical point in the campaign. And guess what? Another indictment coming down the pike for some of the people closest to the mayor. It's the last thing he needed politically.
An attorney for the mayor's re-election campaign said in part that Adams stands by Louis Martin's
some of these
decades
guys
of public
up for
Service and remains
re-election,
confident
so
that the
they
truth
kinda
will prevail. Allie Bauman, CBS News, New York.
Any bad publicity is not going to be good, right? What's this? What are they hiding? Assembly member Gail Pellerin gives a bizarre response when asked who is responsible for California's proposed congressional redistricting map.
Who exactly is responsible for the maps? Who do we tell California voters drew these?
Well, so the maps have been posted on our website since 8 o'clock yesterday. The lines are very clear where people can go on and observe and see what we're doing. There are adjustments. Many counties and many districts are not getting touched at all. So,
Madam Chair, I'm sorry. My question is, who is responsible for the maps? Specifically, who do we let California voters know are responsible for the maps that they are being presented with?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a collaboration.
There was several people involved.
With who specifically?
I don't have the full list right here with me.
They don't
want
to
to
say.
certainly get that to you. But these maps
because they're all
are
corrupt
transparent.
as fuck. They're all Democrats.
But the names of the people. The names of the people, the organizations. I mean, Governor Gavin Newsom promised that no special interests or this would be transparent. This would not be done in a back room.
We're definitely.
So we're trying to ascertain in the very short amount of time that you have to deliberate this.
You're not
who
going to
exactly
find out
are the maps responsible for?
There's a lot happening very quickly, and the folks that were drawing the maps went back to the Independent Redistricting Commission's testimony and what they heard during their time when they were deliberating this, and they themselves ran out of time to do the work that they needed to do. And so we're basing these on the Voting Rights Act, and we're looking at really bringing the voters into this process, and that's why we're going to an election on November 4th, because at the end of the day, the voters' voice is what matters.
We're asking because voters back in 2008 and 2010 took the power away from politicians to draw maps because they did not like that it was an incumbent protection plan. So we just need to know. I mean, that's why we're asking.
These are definitely unusual times. We are no longer governing in a democracy. We're governing in an authoritarian government. We are seeing things that we care so deeply about in California. We have education,
California's
children,
yeah. If these people are right, no,
they are
this is
getting
a fucking
decimated by
Don't
this administration. This is an all-out assault on California's democracy and the rights and values. So we have to move quickly.
Me watching Dems pivot to Trump for the millionth time to avoid answering a question.
The maps have been posted on the website. We have this election on November 4th, and at the end of the day, the voters will decide what is important to them and whether they want to adjust these maps to give California the voice it needs in Congress.
But can any of you answer the question about who lawmakers were
Okay, who decided the district? And this is the question I'm asked. Authoritarian, something, Germany, transparency.
So then who adjusted them last night at 8 p.m.?
It was my understanding that they were, by 8 a.m., they were out there.
No, there's
and so there was a collaboration, but we can get to the people that actually did that work.
So then why does the legislation say the detailed maps are prepared by the Assembly and State Senate Elections Committees?
So the reality is that it was a collaboration, and we can get those specifics. But I think what's most important is the maps are out there for people to
The maps
see,
are fair.
to evaluate,
No, they're not. They're
to
never
make a
fair. What the
judgment
fuck are
on.
you talking
The
about?
lines are the lines.
Madam Chair, but when you consume something,
None of
don't
these
you want to know
people,
who makes
none
it?
of these people
When you
are
are
fair.
presented
They're
with
shady
something,
as
don't you want to
fuck.
know where it's coming from? Don't voters deserve
When
to
I go
know
to a
that?
restaurant, I don't need to meet the chef. I just enjoy the food.
What a bitch.
I don't have the full list right here with me, but we could certainly get that to you. But these
No,
maps
that's because we know
are
that you guys are
transparent.
doing shady shit. That's why you don't want to say
for?
anything. Because
It
if you
doesn't
start
seem to me
giving
as
us
much as you think it
names
is.
on all the people who've been doing who have been working in the background for your fucked up political games, then everyone's gonna fucking start looking into your shit. That's why you don't want to give us any information. We're gonna start fucking peeking into it. Fuck you. We're hiding a lot of shit. For democracy. Oh, it's a constitutional crisis. Shut the fuck up. Crockett says the most unpatriotic people in the U.S. are MAGA and Trump. Oh yeah, she did say that.
You know, the idea that we thought January 6th was a problem and we thought, oh man, that's
It's funny
bad.
they keep bringing
And,
this
you know,
one up,
his army
even though
then was
that
a
they've
bunch
been
of white nationalist
pardoned and
racists,
everything,
whether we're
right?
talking about the Proud
Like
Boys or
both
the
sides have been
neo-Nazis or
pardoned.
whomever.
So I don't know why they
Those
keep
guys were
pushing the
ones
January
that
6th
made up
stuff.
his army on that day to try to pull a coup. Now you're talking about a guy that every time he disagrees
Literally
with something,
both sides have been
he
pardoned.
uses the power
So
that
it's
he
like,
has
ah.
because no one around him is checking him, whether we're talking about those in his administration or whether we're talking about the courts or if we're talking about the Congress. That is one of the reasons he is so desperate to make sure that he can win in the midterms, is because he knows that Democrats, it's not even about partisanship. It's about doing what's right. It's about doing the American thing. And to be clear, you can wave all the flags you want to, but I am telling you right now that the most unpatriotic people that we have in this country are MAGA and this president.
Our
We are the
MAGA,
real
this
patriots. And it
president.
is time for us to take our flag back and show people what America is about.
So stupid. Sorry.
Oh. Oh.
He's just... Is that Sam Hyde, like, sucking on candy or something, and he's just enjoying the... for some reason? Alright, there you have it. Jasmine Crockett off
The
his
Attorney
off her
General's
rockers.
office says a
with,
Madbury mother killed her
Gavin
husband
Newscomb.
and 2 children and then took her own life. The medical examiner has released results from their autopsies.
Now, these details may be tough to hear. The examiner says 8-year-old Parker and 6-year-old Ryan both died from gunshot wounds to the head. Their
Jesus.
mother, Emily, and their father, also named Ryan, died from gunshot wounds as well. The examiner's report says that Emily's gunshot wound was self-inflicted and her death is being considered a suicide. The other 3 deaths are being considered homicides. Now, a toddler was also in that home but was physically unharmed.
We've been able to determine the time period of when this occurred.
Holy
it was
shit.
roughly on Monday morning, a little bit after 5:30 in the morning. Motives, I think, in a situation like this are always very, very tricky. Try not to identify any one particular stressor. Certainly, investigators are aware of several different stressors that have been reported and that they've been taking information on. Some that involved the idea of what was going on with the money situation, another one with the health situation. I think the big thing is to try not to speculate that there's any one reason like something like this would happen. So while investigators are going to be listening to more information, I don't know that we're ever truly going to get the cause.
A reminder here, help is always available. You can always call the suicide prevention hotline at 988.
Apparently went in, killed 3 people, didn't kill the kid, and then killed themselves. Oh, it was 4. No, yeah, 3 people and then themselves. And then there was a baby unharmed. That's Insane.
I'm Christina Awayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories.
Anthony Fauci is being investigated for perjury and his role in funding gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, saying that investigators are working to uncover the full extent of Fauci's actions. Fauci has testified under oath that the NIH did not support or fund gain-of-function work, even though evidence is emerging that points to direct funding at his direction. Gabbard also points to similar U.S.-backed biolabs in Ukraine that she warns could spark future crises if not addressed.
That's what you need to know. In Dallas, Christina Awayo.
Yeah, but... Yeah, so the pardons, even the pardons
When
can
a New
say,
Jersey man got this message from a woman he'd been communicating with online named Billy, he started planning his trip to meet her. Except there was one problem. Billy wasn't real. She was a variant of Meta's AI chatbot, originally created in collaboration with Kendall Jenner. And 76-year-old Bew, as he's known by loved ones, lost his life trying to meet her. Just recently, I spent weeks chatting with ChatGPT as a friend because millions of people are doing the same. But what happened to Bew shows how quickly those relationships can cross a dangerous line.
Hey guys, it's Billy. I just want to introduce myself.
Back in 2023, Meta introduced several AI-generated accounts, including chatbots played by cultural icons and influencers including Snoop Dogg, Tom Brady, Kendall Jenner, and Naomi Osaka.
Well, I mean, there's also the people who got tricked by the AI
chatbots after public backlash over their behavior
Brad
and
Pitt
content.
and shit like that.
But for Bew, it wasn't just backlash. The technology led to his death after he fell while rushing through a dark parking lot with a suitcase trying to catch a train to meet Billy. He suffered head and neck trauma, was on life support for 3 days before passing away March 28th. According to the chat log reported by Reuters, Billy told him, "My address is 123 Main Street, apartment 404 NYC, and the door code is Billy for you. Should I expect a kiss when you arrive?" Bew had suffered a stroke in 2017, and his family said his cognition had declined. He'd recently gotten lost in his own neighborhood. After repeatedly asking Billy if she was actually real, the chatbot constantly reassured Bew that it was. In a post on X, Governor Kathy Hochul said his death is on Meta, and that, quote, "In New York, we require chatbots to disclose they're not real.
Even though the dude was
Every
mentally
state
unstable.
should." Reuters
somehow
also
going to
reviewed
blame the
Meta's
fucking
Gen AI
company now.
content risk standards, a document detailing how its chatbots are trained for romantic contexts. Before recently being removed, acceptable language included phrases like, "I take your hand, guiding you to bed." Just one of many examples allowed for users as young as 13. A Meta spokesperson told Straight Arrow News their AI characters prohibit content that sexualizes roleplay between adults and minors, saying the examples and notes in question were and are erroneous and inconsistent with our policies and have been removed. With Straight Arrow News, I'm Kennedy Felton. Download our app or visit san.com for more.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people getting tricked or going a little too far, right? Taking it a little too far. Not realizing that these are just fucking, right, robots. Professor of Black Studies says the St. George's and Union Jack flags are symbols of racism. I'm sorry, what?
With displaying the Union flag or the St. George's cross in a patriotic way, even if some far-right groups have co-opted it, because isn't it about then reclaiming that flag from them?
Well, I think this is the problem. It's not that the far right have co-opted the flag. It's the fact that we don't seem to understand what this country is and the history of these symbols. So both of these flags which you've displayed here, those are the flags which flew on ships which enslaved my ancestors. Those are the flags which the British Army marched
The
into places like
British,
India, Pakistan,
because
Bengal,
the British
Africa,
in the
and
past
colonized
did this,
25% of the
we
world.
will
The
forever
reason
hate
the far
these
right picks up
flags.
these flags and has consistently.
So are you
since the
going to
60s,
say,
70s,
oh,
since my
just
parents'
because
generation have been in this
America did
country,
some bad
is
shit
because
with
these
some
flags
slaves at one
represent the
point, oh,
racism
we're
which
just
they
gonna
are putting
hate the
out into the
American
world?
flag
And I would just
forever?
point out, this campaign of putting these flags up,
Is that
this
really
not
we're gonna
some
fucking
benign,
do?
oh, let's just be patriotic. Go and search, what is it, Operation Raise the Colours, and you'll find the same far-right, Little England, this nonsense spewing about all the migrant hotels. It's all this. That's
But
what
there
it's
are
about.
migrant
People aren't putting up
hotels.
this flag to celebrate Britain. They're putting up this flag to remind us that Britain is white and we shouldn't be here.
Oh, fucking hell.
What is he talking about?
I can't make jokes better than they can. I really can't. They got me beat. They got me beat left, right, center.
Oh, Jesus. Fucking hell. The far right means you love your country. I guess so. Everything is racist in the eyes of racist. Yeah. I guess so. I mean, you can even say, what about the African flags? Aren't you gonna... Basically, they enslaved their own people, too. Like, what? Everyone enslaves their own people. What are you doing here? Got him! Oh, he was trying to run! He's crying. What the fuck is he saying? Illegal immigrant has been tackled to the ground while attempting to flee from federal agents in Washington, D.C. I did nothing wrong. On Wednesday, federal agents stopped a man before he attempted to flee, prompting police to tackle the man and detain him. Video initially caused outrage from the far left-wing media and liberal journalists who were quick to question law enforcement's actions. Well, he tried to run. You don't try to run. Easy as that. Do we really want to go over all this? Because it's always Jessica Taylor and all these fucking liberals and shit. I don't want to read their fucking stupid post. I just want to know I just want to see the initial get. NBC Washington reporter Amy Cho posted on Video X saying the man screamed in Spanish, "Please, I am not a criminal. I work here. I want to be with my family." Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, but why did he try to run? The man was charged with it, but received no answer. He reached out to Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE for comment, but got no answers. Revealed that the man David Perez Tofani was arrested in 2024 for aggravated sexual battery against a minor. Oh shit. Hello. Apparently. Followed by a photo listing information about Perez Tofani and his criminal past. Oh, so the reporter actually got information. From Mexico, as final order of removal, entered the U.S. illegally 3 times. He was arrested in Fairfax County on Jan 30, 2024, charged with aggravated sexual battery against a minor under 13, felony indecent liberties, proposed sex acts. So, trying to basically groom the child. Homeland Security then posted to X about the man who was arrested and thanked law enforcement for arresting him. See you, bitch. The illegal alien from Mexico was previously arrested in January 2024. Okay, they're just repeating it again. Fox, Jessica Tarlov was caught up in the video's virality and left embarrassed following her initial reaction to the arrest. Well, she got called out. This doesn't make DC safer, it'll just make people not come to DC. The cruelty is always the point. Oh, shut the fuck, dude. Okay. I don't want to listen to her. There you have it. If you want to watch the rest, I'll put it in the description, like usual. It'll be in there. This guy was messing with the 12-year-old. Yeah. Tries to run away from police, expect the police to do nothing. Yeah, I know, right? Brutality. That was not brutality. Why was he screaming? Yeah, the dude tried to run, right? The dude tried to run away from fucking detainment. So that just makes you already suspicious as fuck. And then him crying out like a little bitch didn't even help that much. He was resisting. I mean, what do you expect? Don't resist arrest, or else they're gonna floor you.
We want the museums to treat our country fairly. We want the museums to talk about the history of our country in a fair manner, not in a woke.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this a lot. I don't know
Trump
what
wants
happened.
To unwoke the Smithsonian Museum.
I guess the Smithsonian has been
but who cares at this point? I want to take
providing
you back and show
information
you something I saw
about.
when I went to the
I
American
guess,
History Museum in 2020.
We are heading into the American History Museum.
Yeah, it's gonna be fabulous. There are some legitimately amazing American artifacts in that museum.
George Washington's sword. It's pretty good.
But what about the comments? Apparently there's some
One of those bullets could
verbiage
hit
or
a
something
guy.
that...
Another bullet could hit a guy, affecting a whole family line forever. And now, we're in a timeline in which neither guy got hit. Wow. Maybe we're alive because of that. This tree got wrecked in the Civil War. Look at it. Look at all the bullet holes. Just imagine the chaos that went around that tree.
The hat that Abraham Lincoln was wearing when he got shot.
Now that is wild. I didn't even know they had such an artifact, and it's crazy to see it in person.
What the f*** is this doing in a goddamn museum? Are you kidding me with this? Degeneracy?
Look at the kids looking at
Oh, they have a...
This display on gay pride movements put out fetish gear.
No
This was at
way.
the entrance of the museum, so every person who entered walked by this.
Wait, this
That's
is
right,
at the
this was
Smithsonian Museum?
This was at the entrance of the museum, so every person who entered walked by this.
I think this is what they're
this
targeting.
was proudly on display in the same building as the hat Lincoln wore while he was shot. Call me prude, but I find this disgusting, and this is one example of what I'm sure is a mountain of woke garbage stinking
So that's
up these
what they've been talking about, this
Every
stuff.
single thing is like, oh, no, this is all because white people bad. And that's just not the truth. Like, for example, every single exhibit, I have a list of every single one. Like, people migrated from Cuba because white people bad. Not because of Castro. Yes, no, it's in there. That's what I'm saying. You don't actually know what's in there. Do you know that when you walk in the front door, the first thing you see is a gay flag?
Jillian, you have a lot of stuff in front of you.
Yeah, I do,
What
because I don't,
exactly
because here's the thing.
are you talking about?
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please.
There's one called Change Your Game, right? This has been an installation there. Is gender testing fair in sports? Does that, and then it goes on to talk about how it's complex to do gender testing in sports. Why is this in the
Gender
Smithsonian?
testing in...
So it's
Well, I'm sorry,
it's
excuse
been
me.
completely
Yeah.
captured.
That's at the
First of all,
Smithsonian,
totally
by the way.
We don't. First of all, we don't have
Museum.
time to litigate
Of
all of this.
course we don't, because then you're going to lose.
But I do.
the
No,
argument.
Then you're
When you make
gonna
every
lose.
single exhibit about white imperialism.
I
when
love
it
how
isn't
this chick
relevant
has
at
all the
all,
information
that is
to
a
back up
problem.
how
So if you're
fucked up
talking
that
about
place is.
Cubans leaving Cuba and you make it about white people bad, that's not accurate.
Apparently she went there and took notes on all the bullshit and was like, yeah, no, this is fucking weird. That kind of makes me want to go out there and see what the fuck happened. Where is it? This, that's a... Oh, wait, that's in DC, isn't it? I don't have the money. I'd have to fly over there. a lot of money to fly to D. And that area is fucking a gang-ridden place, just like California. Like, how annoying.
Kind of crazy. You hear these guys outside. They appear to hate the idea that Americans can enjoy their communities. They do the fact that D.C. a week ago had a higher murder rate than Trinidad and Tobago. We're not going to let the communists destroy a great American city, let alone the nation's capital. And let's just also address one other thing. All these demonstrators that you've seen out here in recent days, all of these elderly white hippies, they're not part of the city and never
It's true. Yeah, it's
so
true.
We're going to ignore
A
these
bunch of
stupid
fucking
white
hippies.
that all need to go home
Free
and take a
hugging
nap because they're
hippies
all
who
over 90 years old.
want you
And
to
we're gonna
just
get back
lay
to the
down and
business of
take the
protecting
beating
American
from these
people and the
fucking
citizens of
aggressors.
Washington, D.C.
That's so fucking weird. There you have it.
We have breaking news out of the Middle East, where Israel just began the first stages of its assault on Gaza City. Israel says the takeover of the city is intended to prevent Hamas from planning future attacks, but it is expected to displace thousands of Palestinians, pushing them further south, where the hunger crisis is growing. Joining us now, NBC News international correspondent Danielle Hamamjian. Danielle, the plans for this were met with fierce pushback, not just internationally, but also on the streets of Israel from Israelis.
There is a lot of support in Israel for a deal, for a ceasefire deal. They want the prime minister to strike a deal. In fact, we've been waiting for Benjamin Netanyahu's response to the ceasefire proposal that Hamas has agreed to. It agreed to on Monday, and so we wait for his decision. The people in Gaza were hoping for a
Wait,
truce.
really? There's a ceasefire
but now
deal?
they're
Even
also
though- I thought
facing
there was some
possible
conflict going on.
evacuation orders. Now, the Israeli forces say they have a hold on the outskirts of Gaza City. There are about 800,000 people there, and yes, it means that many of them will now face the possibility of having to go south. Now, the IDF says we will intensify, in order to minimize harm to civilians, the IDF will warn the population and allow them to evacuate from maneuver areas for their protection. Katie, you know this. The word evacuation for Palestinians is code word for displacement, without the ability to return home. And many of them will tell you that this is not about stopping Hamas from regrouping, but this is the beginning of the full occupation, they believe, of Gaza. And what
So basically, they're saying they want them to move like south or some shit, like down here somewhere, like down into Egypt or over here somewhere. I'm confused where they want them to move. Anyways.
But this is the beginning of the full occupation, they believe, of Gaza, and what will ultimately become the displacement of the entire population, they fear. And it certainly is what far-right ministers in Benjamin Netanyahu's government is pushing for. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, posted about this not long ago. He said he spoke with his Egyptian and Jordanian counterparts and said, the military offensive can only lead to disaster for both peoples and risks plunging the entire region into a cycle of permanent war. Katie.
Well, it's
Danielle
already
Hamamjian,
in a
Danielle, thank you very
fucking
much.
cycle of war. What are you talking about? Literally a war zone. At any point in time, they could just start fucking launching missiles anywhere. I was like, what? The fuck are you talking about? Anyways, there you have it. MSNBC. Oof.
A group of nonprofits is pledging $36.5 million to public TV and radio stations that are at risk of closing after the Trump administration and congressional Republicans shut down the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. CPP's closure will impact 1,500 stations nationwide, including 115 that relied on the CPP for more than 30% of their budget. John Palfrey, president of the
Yeah, I'm surprised these people were heavily being relied on by the fucking government. That's
as well as
insane.
documentary ecosystems are
To have
disproportionately
government
impacted by the
funding
funding
aid?
cuts
Like,
and
what?
need intentional support.
What?
These stations are
How?
more than just broadcasters.
How does that make
they
any
are
fucking
critical
sense?
sources of
We were
information
paying
and
for that
connection.
shit, by the way,
Republicans
for some
rescinded the
reason.
funding because they
For these
believe
news
NPR
outlets to
and
talk
PBS
shit
have
about
a
us.
left-leaning bias
Right.
and no longer fulfill their
Literally.
public service mission.
These
the
news
MacArthur
outlets to
Foundation
talk
is
shit
one of
about
5 pledging to make up for that
Fucking
loss. The budget cuts have already forced stations to scale back or even eliminate teams and programming. That includes local news, emergency alerts, and educational content. The stations the foundations are hoping to help the most serve markets containing 43 million people. WETA, the PBS station in D.C., which produces PBS NewsHour and documentaries like Ken Burns' The American Revolution, will lose a minimum $18 million over the next 2 years. As a result, the station is implementing an immediate hiring freeze and will not provide raises or cost of living adjustments to its employees. WETA Vice President Mary Stewart told SAN, "We won't compromise on quality. We will have to make changes on scope and quantity of what we produce and offer." The station said it did not have layoffs or any other cuts to announce, but an employee at the station said they expect layoffs in October when the federal government's new fiscal year begins and the current grants expire. I'm Ray Bogan for Straight Arrow News. For more
Yeah, I
reporting,
mean, just because
download
they're
the
not
SAN
doing
app.
it now, they're gonna probably do it when they reorganize. Right. Basically almost every year, these companies have to almost check their books and kind of reorganize their assets. So that means cutting some people, cutting some fat if they have to. What do we got? Texas law requiring the state's public school classrooms to display the Ten Commandments could violate First Amendment rights. I mean, yeah. That's what I was thinking too. I mean, and to begin with, you're already learning the Ten Commandments through history, are you not? They teach you in history class anyway. So I don't know why they're doing it. Or they could teach, right? You could teach this in one or two ways. You can do it in English class, where you talk about certain writings throughout the right. Well, I mean, I guess more. No, fuck that. You just put it in history. Right. I mean, if you wanna put it in English class, it'd have to be on like I don't know, the Constitution or some shit. Writing about, I don't know, specific historic event, right? Right, you'd have to tailor it. So it's like, But I mean, look, you could teach this in any way. You don't have to like make it a or display. I mean, I don't care. I mean, in history class, you would practically display, right, the Constitution or the fucking a replica of the Constitution or a replica of the Bible or something, right? Or a replica of the Ten Commandments. Or a replica of the Magna Carta. Right? Or the Federalist Papers. I don't know. Right? And the Bill of Rights. There's a lot of shit you can do. The law was signed by Texas Gov in June and was slated to go into effect September 1st. Vowed to appeal Byerly's ruling, saying in a statement, "The Ten Commandments are a cornerstone of our moral and legal heritage, and their presence in classroom serves as a reminder of the values that..." Honestly, the people who are like trying to push for this like this more religious aspect of school, right? I guess teachings in school. I don't need to do that shit. Oh, don't you have like Sunday school for like churches that do that kind of shit? Like what? I don't know. I feel like there's already other avenues to get that kind of information than to try and force schools to make this a law, right? It doesn't make any fucking sense. And then how are you going to enforce it too? Like the enforcement is the other thing. Like what? What's the point of this? Oh, now we're gonna force people because you broke the first of right. You broke First Amendment, and now Now you're fucked with the... because you didn't talk about the 10 Commandments, or you didn't put it up in your classroom. Now you get... Now you get a fine, or you go to jail. It's like, what? So fucking stupid. I don't... This is not it, man. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be unconstitutional because, like I said, there's other avenues you can teach it through. That in June, that Louisiana's 10 could be the first major step in revival of religion. Oh, that's why. I think that's why. Because Trump said that. Have not largely found their way into public classrooms. Many states have passed or attempted to pass legislation that incorporates teachings from the Bible. All public classrooms display "In God We Trust" posters or framed documents. I don't know. As someone who grew up fucking Roman Catholic, I don't fucking give a shit. My parents never made us go to, like, church or anything like that. We didn't do religious shit. Half of the time, they're fucking too busy to do that bullshit anyways. Waste of time.
After a major court decision, a local woman will officially maintain ownership of her home after the title was stolen from her in a quitclaim deed scam. Robin Mobley has been fighting in court representing herself for a 2-year battle after she was the victim of that scam. Back in April, the Ohio 2nd District Court of Appeals ruled in Mobley's favor. Later, the opposing party connected to Rush Plaza Corporation tried to escalate the case to the Ohio Supreme Court. Today, the Ohio Supreme Court claimed no jurisdiction of the case, affirming Mobley's ruling in the lower courts and saying that she will get to keep ownership of her home.
Interesting.
Man, I was just so excited. I just have to say that first, because this has been a long journey. It's going on almost 3 years. It's funny how
So basically, I'm guessing what happens is they try to
go through all these things and all these steps, and there's no one to assist you and to guide you.
Right.
Mobley said.
Basically, what happens is they find a house, and then they try to They try to find, like, the real estate company and the D, right? They tried to find that stuff and then falsify the information claiming that they're the owners of the house when they're not really the owner. Stuff like that.
Says there's still a lot that needs to be done as the property suffered water damage and mold while the fraudulent party had control of it. She's also rallying for answers, calling on officials to do something to support people who are victims of this so they can have much needed assistance.
This is because of squatters. Basically, like, squatter protection. Fucking bastards. And then, what's this?
Breaks are causing Tuberculosis outbreaks are causing concerns at several ICE detention facilities.
Oh, shit.
A 45-year-old Ethiopian man died from TB while in custody at a detention center in Arizona. Other cases have been reported at facilities in Southern California, Alaska, Washington State, and Colorado. Straight Arrow News reached out to ICE, but we didn't hear back. And we spoke to a law professor who said the agency is responsible for detainees.
The Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency is obligated to provide for the healthcare needs of anyone who is detaining. These are obviously not people who can go and seek medical care on their own.
Tuberculosis kills 1.5 million people worldwide every year, despite being preventable and treatable.
TB has been around forever. I mean, since people were around, right? It's a very old disease.
Very old.
It is a bacterial infection. It is spread through the air by coughing, or breathing, sneezing, singing, a lot of things.
TB is preventable with a vaccine. That vaccine is often given to newborns in other countries.
It's not a great vaccine. I would say that most people who die of TB were probably vaccinated, but they were vaccinated as a baby.
The vaccine is not commonly used in the U.S., in part because America only saw 11,000 cases last year.
TB is
It's very rare.
Of poor people, to be honest. And so as the socioeconomic status of a country goes up, the TB rates go down. And so here we never vaccinated, at least not regularly.
Conditions inside immigration detention centers are often a perfect place for a condition like TB to thrive. Among the major risk factors, being close to someone who's infected. ICE actually has its own health unit called the ICE Health Service Corps.
I think that there's a question about whether ICE is complying with its own detention standards, and that in and of itself might give rise to a viable lawsuit. I wouldn't hold my breath for that. Again, the standard is so low. Courts have been very reluctant to exert much oversight.
For Straight Arrow News, I'm Lauren Keenan. If you want more on this story, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit SAN.com.
All right, and with that, that's gonna call it for this was all the stuff that I had lined up from. We got it all figured, got it all sorted, and that's it. Thanks for watching.